All right, Donald Trump is in meltdown mode. Lots of stuff for him to respond to, lots of stuff for him to discuss. So let's just dive right into it. Trump was asked about Jon Ossoff, the hot Democratic senator. And of course, Jon Ossoff was the first Democrat to go after the fact that Donald Trump spends all of his time with the human printer, Natalie Harp. Here's Trump's response to that. Play the clip.
Said you'd rather travel with your aide, Natalie Harp, and build the ballroom than do your job as president. What is your response, Jon Ossoff?
You mean Pee Wee Herman? Pee Wee Herman lookalike? No, I would much rather do other things. We're building a great facility here. We're fixing a White House that hasn't been taken care of. You can look at this. This room was a disgraceful situation in the Oval Office.
So much to unpack there. Number one, Jon Ossoff is objectively hot. And so, of course, Trump has to call him Pee Wee Herman or whatever, just something totally immature. And Trump talking about anybody's looks is just more than I can take. The man has, I think some of the biggest ramifications of gravity that I've ever seen. Like the gravity here in this man-gina that he has is just more than I can take. But for him, he always is shitting on America. Do you see? He was like, this Oval Office was just horrible. Until I, liberaceed it up. Absolutely ridiculous stuff. But then Stephen Chung, the guy who loves to humiliate little Marco Rubio, responds to Ossoff's attacks on Natalie. Pop this up. John Jackoff, I guess that's supposed to be a big LOL, has to be the biggest cuck loser in politics. Instead of denigrating hardworking people serving their country, John should look deep into his soul and ask himself why he's a miserable person who hates this country. It's because he's a radical extremist Democrat. Okay, notice that the Republicans only have this. You're a radical, you hate the country, while they're sitting there lying. And this whole Natalie thing has struck a chord. Do you notice Trump lashed out, Pee Wee Herman, and this guy's calling him a cuck and all of this stuff. So I think there's some meat on the bones, and I think we need some journalists to go full tilt. Why do you spend so much time with Natalie? Furthermore, I think people need to ask Moses Mike Grinder Johnson and all of these other family values Republicans. I'd like to have somebody ask Katie Miller. I'd like for somebody to ask Stephen Miller. I'd like for somebody to ask Elon Musk. What do you think about the president employing a 35-year-old unmarried, childless woman? Because for them, those things are important. For me, I don't care. It's a free country. You don't want to have kids. You don't want to get married. Swing for the fences. Knock yourself out. I don't give a shit because I'm not a petty Gladys Kravitz micromanager like all of these people are. And then, of course, Trump just continues to melt down. Here he is when he's asked about his friendship with Kim Jong-un, who Trump claims he's in love with. Play the clip.
Quiet. You're very disrespectful in front of this young man. Okay? Don't you find her disrespectful? He understands. Quiet. Who are you with?
I'm with CNN.
Fake news. You're fake news. You're a loud, boisterous person. You're fake news. Be quiet. Be quiet. Be quiet. You're a fake reporter, and you report fake news. Go ahead.
Mr. President, is there...
Okay, this is straight out of nursing home dementia shit. I mean, this is the president of the United States. If you don't want people asking you questions, don't have the Oval Office show and tell circle jerks. It's so easy. You don't have to do that. But he wants to bring people in. He wants to flex his vocal muscle because we all know he has no other muscles anywhere else in his body but that. And he loves to humiliate women. He loves to humiliate MAGA men, and he loves to humiliate liberal women. Notice it's always those two people. With the MAGA men, he humiliates them by making them pile on these bullshit lies about how great he is. And everybody knows it's bullshit. Everybody knows the messenger doesn't believe that. And then he loves to go after liberal women. This guy has so many mental and emotional issues. It's just unbelievable. But here's something that I think is so important. Why isn't CNN making a statement about this? Today, the President of the United States spoke in a very disparaging way to one of our professional journalists who was in the process of doing her job. Where is everybody coming around these people that get attacked so viciously by Trump? They don't do it because they're all chicken shit. They're all so scared of him. And notice the strongest people with the biggest microphones are the biggest chicken shits among us. All of these multi-billionaires didn't tell him, no, we're not going along with this stuff. All of these news channels, because Donald Trump emotionally blackmails them. If you don't do what I say, if you don't say nice stuff about me, I'm going to pull your FCC license. I would love to see some people grow a pair and say, do it. Let's take it to court, big boy. Let's do it. Let's see how far this goes. Every time people capitulate to Trump, he goes back and abuses them more. But the people who stand up to him, he retreats because he knows he can't win. All right, moving along. Now, Trump says that those who oppose the ballroom are disloyal to America. Now, notice the theme. If you don't like the lying, thieving, waste of money, crime syndicate in the White House, then you must hate America. This is such a juvenile argument for stupid dipshits if they buy into this. Play the clip.
The people that are opposing the ballroom are people that, in my opinion, are very disloyal to our country, very, very disloyal to our country. And I think we're doing very well. We're way ahead of schedule. We're under budget. It's going to be the most beautiful ballroom of its kind.
Okay. I oppose the ballroom, and I actually love the United States of America. I hate your political movement within the United States of America. I can't stand you. I can't stand all of the submissive wives that service you and bend over backwards to try to make you feel like you're a big man. So this is just utterly insane. He wants the ballroom because in it, he's going to have a bunker. And Ruth Ben-Ghiat, who is a professor of history and studies autocrats closely, says dictators get hyper-focused on building these safe spaces. Democrats start attacking him on wanting his safe space. What a snowflake he is. You have to bully back. You have to punch back to these people because they're cowards underneath all of this. And meanwhile, little Moses Mike Grinder Johnson is on the campaign trail, which I say, keep him out there. Let's get him out there. Run him on the campaign trail all the time. And he is claiming that Trump is laser focused on affordability. Let's play the clip.
Working every day. I can tell you, I talk to the president multiple times a day on average, okay? He is laser focused on this. He is laser focused on bringing down the cost for everybody.
I've heard enough. I've heard enough. I've heard enough. This man is sitting there lying, and he knows he's lying because Trump 3 or 4 days ago said, I'm not going to apologize for the price of gas going up. He doesn't give a shit. Donald Trump is not laser focused on anything except for enriching himself. And little Moses Mike Grinder Johnson is such a prostitute for Trump that he will not stand up for the working class people of Louisiana. And instead, he looks in the camera and tells you, I love Jesus. I'm a great Christian. And then he lies in the most diabolical, dangerous way imaginable because he is allowing a fascist to steal your money. The boogeyman, I want to say this again, the boogeymen in this country are not the immigrants. They're not the trans people. They're not the drag queens. They're not the white liberals. The real boogeymen that are really trying to dismantle this country are the oligarchs and everybody in Trump's orbit. They're just trying to distract you. And then here's another clip of little Moses Mike Grinder warning about the deadly road to communism. Play the clip.
Congress now, in the next Congress, we will not be arguing over marginal tax rates or regulation. We'll be arguing over whether or not we're going to maintain our republic in our 251st year as a nation, or if we're going to go down this dark, dangerous, deadly road to communism.
Okay, this is the Red Scare shit because this is all they have. Everybody needs to lock in. All the Republicans have is fear mongering and saying stupid things like you must not love America if you don't support Donald Trump's ridiculous multi-billion-dollar ballroom. You must hate America if you think John Ossoff is a good senator. This is just such bullshit. We're a country of 330, 340 million people. Of course, we all don't agree on everything. And by the way, little Grinder, I've been looking at Donald Trump's approval rating, and it looks like it's as low as any modern president has ever been. So you have about 30% of the people that believe this jet stream of bullshit coming out of this sanctimonious hypocrite Mike Johnson. And then some great news. Trump loses his latest Supreme Court fight. Pop this up. Scott McFarlane reports Supreme Court rejects Trump's latest bid for the court to overturn the jury verdict, which awarded E. Jean Carroll $5 million. And why? Why did E. Jean Carroll? Why is all of this? Because Donald Trump raped her. That's why. So all of these MAGA Christians that are telling you what they think is best for women, what they think is best for children, remember this. They will always protect the abusers. Look at their actions, not their words, because their actions tell you they want women and children to be sexually abused. Look at them. All the way across the Republican Party. Nobody stands up against this except for Marjorie Taylor Greene, which surprises me very much, and Massey. The rest of them are all in the tank for this debauchery. All right, that's all I have. Make sure you pre-order my book. It's coming out soon, and the pre-orders help us so much. Like, subscribe. I'll be back later with more news.